Mr. President, hello, is this thing on? The debate is about to start, and I'm getting the shakes. I never know what to say during interviews. I always just stammer and run away. This time it's a whole debate. Please just tell me whatever you would say, and I'll just repeat it word for word. I can handle that much, I think. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, the debate is about... I thought that was creepy pie still. They kind of look similar. The debate is about to commence between the vice presidential candidates. We have an unusual format this year, thanks to the fact that the candidates themselves are quite remarkable. On the left half of your screen is Creepy Pie, the serial killer pardoned by the president. And then the right side is Little Doc, destroyer of eardrums and Archie Weister's pick for running mate. The format of the debate is an open discussion. That means I'll try to stay out of the conversation as much as possible. Little Doc will be the first to deliver his address. Thanks, Paul. It's a good thing you're in charge of the debate and not some bitch-ass motherfucker. I'm here to represent the candidate elite Kingpin Weister, the master of fate. When we come to power up on up in this bitch, we'll raise y'all taxes and pardon the rich. Creepy Pie gonna take your life. Come back later and kill your wife. For all y'all else, the prez legit, but the government officials be tired of this shit. My opponent all act like a psycho freak, but it's all just a cover because his policies are weak. Corrupt ass bitch ass punk ass fool, quit cooking your books and go back to school. I don't, all these choices suck. America can't take 4 more years. We're choking on oxy and drowning in beer. 4 years down and the lid didn't pop. America's cool. Now swallow your hops. My foreign policy is war to death. Our fighter planes fueled on crystal meth. We'll invade every country one by one. If they don't take the dick, we'll give them the gun. The nation's isolation is making us weak. Got to go worldwide. America like a freak. I can't believe this. I promise you that it'll be a global war. All that blood gonna make a slippery floor? Your bitch ass wouldn't hurt a flea. I eat fleas for breakfast. It don't bother me. U.S. healthcare is soaring and the people are roaring. It must return to its natural state, only for the rich unless it's too late. Ambulances don't pick up uninsured meat. Let those assholes die in the street. I'd ban that shit nationwide. If you can't afford your own car, then die. We'll take the guns away from the people in a reverse attack and give the guns to the police and give the bullets back. We'll give all the weapons to the crazies like me. Normal people with guns, they don't know how to be free. Automatics and tanks. Let's burn this place down. We agree with more than we disagree. We agree about more things than we disagree about. Creepy Pie and Little Doc. There'll be a coup in every town. Students, nothing good is out there waiting for you. The future of America is through. We won't forgive the students a dime of their debt. You think college was hard? You ain't suffered yet. And we'll ban medical marijuana for the common man. It'll be just for the elites again. I support a change to the climate. The one who survives is the superior primate. Build up the wall higher, keep out the occupier. Vote for a dude who will get the job done, and not for a baby with a gun. Oh my god, how much longer do I have to do this for? Migrant policy has to be thought through. Y'all need something real to be afraid of instead. Migrants don't make you suddenly dead. Let's stop doing checks on everyone. Migrants are people too, so let's give them some guns. To summarize, I don't know anything about politics. Let's just give the government officials the freedom to do whatever the hell they want. My new album comes out on election day. Give it a listen and vote for the one you trust the most. Vote for me and the president, I'll kill you all, my friends. Jesus. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for today's debate. One of these men will replace the next president of the United States in the event that he is unable to serve. Vote for me and the president and I'll kill you all, my friends. Which one of them will you entrust with your country? We'll find out in November at the polls. Oh my God. Only minus 0.3. Little Dog made himself look like a real idiot at a debate. His rhymes were stale and his message was eye-rolling. But I'd still rather have him as vice president than that madman creepy pie. Kadir Ibn Nasir El Saud II says, "Hey old friend, my social media presence has taken a hit and I only have a pathetic few tens of thousands of followers. Well, you have so many. I decided to boost my numbers with stories from the past. Do you remember one of our earlier drunken escapades? When we caught a goat, painted it black, and sacrificed it? Can I tell my followers about it?" Yes. What the? Ricardo Comandante, a drug lord. "Dear President of the United States, there's a reporter here from your country called Paul Leroy. He wants to do an interview with me, but he's afraid we might kill him if he does. I have better things to do than get my hands dirty with some hack. However, a bit of extra PR would come in handy. Perhaps you can vouch for me. I'm sure the guy will believe his own president." Sure. Prince Robert's back. "Mr. President, there are rumors among your staff that within your inner circle you refer to the Queen of Great Britain as a grey mophead. I know my mother can be difficult, but to insult her in this manner is taking it too far. I'm prepared to take your word as a gentleman. Did you actually refer to my mother as a mophead?" Yes. Oh my God, it's so close. Two months left. So I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't do Fuck! Wait, isn't this a promise that I wasn't gonna raise the taxes? Oh. Old friend, our sacrifice venture did not go down well with your fellow citizens. And after they read my story about the black goat, they started calling you a savage. Imagine what they'd say if I had told them about when we fed 5 lambs to the gods in a drunken haze. Mr. President, you give me no choice but to take offense, which means I have to tell my mother about this whole dreadful matter. I do hope this will be a lesson to you, and that in the future you will choose your words with greater care." Love it. Everyone hates us. Nice, we're losing now. Okay, raise taxes then. Mr. President, you'll probably be... I can't do that either. Can't do that. Shelley Shaw, TV host. Mr. President, you've probably heard that I'm doing a show on your wife. You might be happy to know that I don't really have much compromising material just yet. Naturally, I've been in this business a while, so I don't really need much to go on. I could even turn a picture of the First Lady looking a certain way at the President of France into a scandal, but I really want to get back into prime time, so I need something better. I'm guessing by your past actions that you are no stranger to manipulative PR tactics. Let me be blunt. Would you be willing to get one of your employees, preferably married, to say on the show that they slept with Ellie? If everything goes as to plan, I can promise you a fabulous scandal. Guess we'll try Troy. Ruin concert. Say goodbye to Hollywood. Blast all hopes in the American movie industry. Ruin the merch. Mr. President, look at my t-shirt. It's one of your fan club shirts. There's so many people walking around in these shirts, and I'm finding your smile as dazzling as headlight beams at night. Now don't get upset, but I reckon your merch is a little dull. Can you tell they just wanted to get it off the shelves and printed 2 or 3 pictures on whatever they could get their hands on? Well, I have a few ideas on how we can add something special and get rid of supporters who don't value originality. How about t-shirts with some blood stains? Not fake blood, real congealed blood. Or, if blood seems a bit OTT for you, what does OTT stand for? We could just print some obscenities. There's plenty of examples on the cell walls in Quinton Bounty. You could send in someone reliable, who after being properly inspired can break into a merch warehouse and embellish a batch of merch before it gets distributed around the world. It'd be such a laugh. Perfect. Okay. I wonder if like any of those ones that I don't do will actually be positive for me. These are ones that we missed out on. Mr. President, I hope that we'll come back to this idea of creating a union for psychopaths if you win the election. Oh. Raising taxes would have been good. Bring back prohibition. Ruin a concert. What? Oh, because I couldn't do this. Oh, no. Oh, no. Shit, that was a horrible... My ratings went up! October. This is gonna be close. Mr. President, it's been a while since I've seen such a dirty business and such an amazing success. The show about the First Lady's adultery simply blew up the airwaves. Everyone gasped when your guy came into the studio. It was bad enough that Ellie had slept with one of your staff, the fact that he was married to boot. Then his wife goes and turns up before the end of the live show, and all hell breaks loose. Screaming, fighting, hysterics. Quite the scandal for America. My ratings went through the roof, but your reputation has taken a serious hit. As for the poor First Lady, I don't know how she must be feeling with the whole country slut-shaming her. Oh yeah, minus 0.4%. Mr. President, brutal force is not my thing. I prefer more original approaches. But to send in someone who can handle tons of merch in one night was a good move. They easily knocked the guard out and left before he came to the next morning. What the guard did find was that on all the merch your face was covered in multicolored penises. Not even Quinton Bounty had I seen such a diverse range. Their supporters did not appreciate the more exciting approach and inundated the fan club with complaints. Many even torched their membership cards. Oh well, some people are just so boring. Archie Weister is coming out on top in some campaign polls. If the president's ratings continue to slide like this, the candidate of the officials, Archie Weister, may yet prevail next month. The country is holding its breath in preparation for the presidential debate. From the outside, it may look like a game of checkers, but any informed observer will tell you the president and Archie Weister are playing the most complex three-dimensional chess game ever. Who could be the shittiest candidate? Dear officials, I urge you to not give a damn about the interests of so-called ordinary Americans and support me in the election. I and I alone will be able to protect your interests. Honey, do you smell that? I was the one they were throwing rotten eggs at right at the White House gate. I counted 15 synonyms for the word whore by the time I got to the front door. It's like I'm living in some kind of a nightmare. After all these sacrifices, if you don't lose, well, you'd better try really hard. Darling, the presidential election is only a month away. We don't have much time left to completely destroy our reputation and give Weister the White House. But I have a trump card up my sleeve, a feature article about how our so-called charitable foundation works. When people find out about it, they'll make their minds up. They'll prefer Weister as a defender of government officials over a crook who profits while pretending to help children. Mr. President, the fateful hour has arrived. We are about to face off in a presidential debate in which I will show beyond any doubt that I don't deserve to be president of the United States and that I am nothing compared to you. You think you can beat me? You think you can beat me at insults, threats, and self-deprecating comments? I don't think so. It may be the only thing I'm really good at, but I'm certainly good at it. So don't pack your suitcase. You'll soon see. You'll be staying in the White House for another term. Nice, we get to do a debate. Oh my God, I'm barely winning. It all comes to this. Maybe I should do the debate last. Help Tony in his fight against the eggheads. I don't know if I can do any of these. Okay. Maybe I began my campaign on an unfriendly note, but I realized maybe I was a little naive. All this time, I thought my enemies were America's elite. But recently I discovered that there's a much darker force at work. The social and political life of this country is being controlled by people more powerful than congressmen or district judges. They're called socionics. Socionics are the worst kind of egghead there is. They divide people into groups and then predict their behavior based on mysterious formulas, right down to how they'll vote in elections. It's crazy. Are Americans a bunch of herd animals? How could anyone predict how the unicorns that make up our society will vote? I'll bet you anything. Socionics is a pseudoscience created by the establishment so that the real candidates like me have no chance in the elections. I suggest we join forces one last time and give the socionics a fight they'll remember. We'll probably make such a mess that your ratings will go down and mine will go up. And then it won't be long before I win and you lose. The charity, I think, is probably a good idea if I could do that. Honey, the trump card we have up our sleeve is a secret known to a very limited number of people. I'm talking about how your charitable foundation actually works. We have to expose that you've freely taken money earmarked for helping children and use it to pay Noah and the members of your team. Ava Sarto, the manager of the foundation, is well known as a philanthropist, not least because she partnered with us before your campaign. She gathered donations for children's health care and an outspoken critic of the healthcare system set up by Vice. After the election, the foundation continued its work. It even helped children, but we lost assets during the presidency, so we had to borrow some of the foundation's money. Although technically it's all supposed to go to charity, you have a choice: either force Ava to take the fall or leave things as they are. If you want to lower your ratings even further, it's better to burn that bridge than to stay in the White House for a second term. You won't need Ava's services in the future. What I'd like to do is, this is like our last chance. Might as well spend our money. Does this take up a month though? Okay. Darling, so you decided to sacrifice Ava after all? Anything is better than letting Weister beat us. It's not like Ava didn't know exactly what she was getting into. Whoever is president after Weister, I'll ask him to pardon Ava, but she'll have to spend at least a few years in jail for the fraudulent schemes she orchestrated at our direction. Fortunately, we won't face any consequences ourselves. The amendment passed, and Congress doesn't have time to impeach you again. Oh, that's why, because we wouldn't be able to be impeached, right? So let's focus on convincing Ava she'll do anything for her own paralyzed child. Do you have any suggestions? Publish an investigation into Ava's foundation and threaten to take her child away. Mr. President, my investigation went nowhere. Frankly, over the past 4 years, all the shady dealings of Sarto's foundation have become more or less commonly known to the entire political class of the United States. The only thing really missing is documentary evidence linking the foundation's activities to you. Something that shows Sarto was acting on your instructions. But you're not prepared to confess to that, are you? Or has the time come? Honey, even though we failed to get Ava's confession, information about the Foundation's activities still leaked to the press. There may be no documentary evidence, but the whole situation makes you look like a real monster. For a candidate who wants to lose the election, this is like winning the lottery. We have corruption schemes, bribery, using a children's charity as a front, holding a mother with a paralyzed child like a hostage. It's amazing how not one single journalist grew suspicious that the villain they're lambasting looks like an outright caricature. That's not really enough. We need more. Okay. Time to fuck up. Mr. President, there's this one liberal Israeli publication that has obtained information that you were allegedly involved in Du's disappearance. I know that's not true, and I can shut them up. The editor-in-chief's wife often has dinner with my wife. Do you want me to help you? Nope. Mr. President, do you remember that decree you signed in the first year of your presidency to set up a space force? Everything was fine until some so-called whistleblower fled to Russia and told them that millions of dollars were stolen in that project. We cannot forgive such behavior, but protocol demands that I ask for your permission before eliminating this duplicitous element. What do you say? I'm trying to think of how this is going to play out. I guess no. Honey, good news for a change. Weister has been trying so hard to alienate his hyper-conservative, homophobic base that he accidentally attracted some unexpected support. At the press conference, Weister made a statement to the greatest minority, LGBT officials. He promised them special preferences, not even available to other officials, like expensive sports cars with chauffeurs and astronomical salaries. Weister thought this would alienate even more voters, but he ended up attracting the attention of some LGBT activists who say they'd work in government under President Weister. I'll let the ethics of the issue be judged by the minority, but Weister's approval ratings are creeping up thanks to his careless remarks. Just what we needed on the eve of the election. Oh my god, it's so close. What's a reality show? Honey, haven't you ever wanted to try your hand at being a reality TV star? Oh yes, cameras have been following us everywhere for the last 4 years. But what if we took it a step further? Oh, cameras, okay. Show off the disgusting underbelly of the White House on a reality TV show. Should I do this again? Can I do this again? I can. I guess I didn't have to send Halia. Yes, minus 0.6. Minus 0.3. Oh. Honey, I'm finally going to be a reality TV star. I've been dreaming about it ever since one of the characters on Girlfriends launched her own show. She moved to a desert island with a group of ex-convicts for violent crimes who were on the path to reform. She chose one gentleman to marry from among the group. She divorced him in 6 months later, but that's the story for another reality show. You should throw out a few obscenities for the reality TV viewers to bitch about. They're usually not interested in politics, but love to object to things. Try to grab their attention with something shocking and really ruin their reputation among the masses. What do you think you're going to show the public? Scathing review of the reality show's premiere. Loudly insult the public on camera. Steal evades from the White House. Beat up a White House staffer on camera. Public? Insult the public? Mr. President, you know how easy this job was for me, right? I finally showed the whole country on camera how I normally talk and what I think of everyone. Can't imagine how social media exploded after that. The part they liked the most was that they're easily manipulated degenerates who will believe absolutely any bullshit they see on TV. Can you just taste the irony? Anyway, mission complete. I'll sleep soundly tonight, knowing that the whole country now hates me even more than the corrupt politicians. We did it! The show is a success. I hear we caused quite a stir on social media. People are wondering how they could have ever voted for you and are openly pledging their votes for Weister, not you. That's exactly what we needed. I also got a call from my favorite girl from Girlfriends telling me that I looked great the whole time I was in the picture. I just couldn't be in a happier mood. Let's keep working on our campaign to discredit you and me. Get to write a post! Filming in toilets should be legalized. All the snobs don't realize what they're missing. I'll sign an executive order making it legal for TV shows to publish people's personal information. It's the only way I'll win the next election. I have the right to spy on everyone. Trying to like make a fool of ourselves. Another victim of the box. Are you sure you know what you're talking about? First lady is sexy. What is her name? Trying to lower our approval rating even more with that, if we can. Oh, wasn't that big of a deal. Jokin Woods, leader of an HIV denier movement. Mr. President, official statistics show that millions of people around the world die of HIV and AIDS every year. But do you actually know anyone with HIV or AIDS? I don't either. Just like everyone else on our movement. And do you know why? Because it's all the make-believe of a handful of overpaid scientists who are conspiring with the pharmaceutical companies. They've been getting money out of the people for almost half a century. Mr. President, will you agree to join the HIV dissident ranks and fight with us for the truth? Sure. Mr. President, I've always enjoyed knocking back a couple of glasses of whiskey before a nighttime drive in California. Alcohol gets me going almost as much as the sight of blood. And at times like that, I'm especially focused. But the cops are forever spoiling the mood and asking me to take a breathalyzer test. Well, seeing as I'm your right-hand man now, why don't we lift a drunk driving restrictions throughout America? Okay. Wolfgang Stoffel, science advisor. Mr. President, science has brought the human race to the brink of the unknown. One more step and humans will become gods, creating a new form of life from flesh and blood. It will have a goat's body, a lion's head, and a snake's tail. The scientists I sent to your bunker are ready to start the experiment. We just need to find a volunteer and buy the animals. We allocate budget funds towards this magnificent project. To make a chimera? That's actually pretty cool. Okay. Troy's just gabbling like crazy. We'll do this. It's neck and neck. As soon as I found out how they conduct their research, I knew right away that socionics was a pseudoscience. Socionics surveys a small sample of people and then extrapolates the results to the entire US population. Sounds almost like a hoax. First they tell us all that the poll results are, then while the votes are counted, they adjust the numbers to fit their predictions. I'm sure Weister is manipulating the numbers. He's understanding his ratings of mine and he's overstating yours. We have no choice but to punish the eggheads for his criminal collaboration with the establishment and force them to publish the real numbers. My gut is telling me that the eggheads' greatest fear is the threat of violence. But if you know another way to bring them around, I'm all for it. But one way or another, I'll be dealing with the country's main polling service, PAW Research, which happens to be your own administration's polling service. Perform an armed raid on a polling agency's office and demand that they count the numbers accurately. Mister, it was a piece of cake taking over that office. No way these guys are ready for an armed raid. There weren't even any cameras. I easily crept into one of the offices, pulled out a knife, and shouted that no one move, and that I was in charge. The director came right out, before I even had to take any hostages. He said someone else had just raided them, and demanded that they inflate your ratings, sir, and lower Weister's. After I heard the director's story, I ordered him to start posting the real results of the polls, and I promised that I'd protect them. I was afraid he was just trying to stall me until the cops arrived, but after I left, Weister's ratings went up and yours had gone down. Dude, I knew it! Weister really did tweak the polling numbers in your favor. Otherwise, he never would have gotten 90%. But both sides' set numbers are way off. I'm only supported by 1% of the public? Really? Come on, I'm the vice president. I don't know about you, but I've been losing my faith in people lately. I feel like I'm the last American in the country who loves freedom and justice. But that's okay. I won't give up. I'll fight this election to the end. Socionics is a growing trend in American society. The people have figured out they don't need me anymore. third-party candidate a chance. You're in trouble now, science. Science is evil. All right, this might put us behind going into the debate. I've never been called by one of these surveys. How can I believe them? Idiot, what are you talking about? And this man is the president of the United States. Oh, this is fun. All right, we're at 26.6 now. I lost another 0.4. Oh no, I gained 2. I actually made a good choice. Mr. President, motherhood is the greatest gift for women. Unfortunately, many women only understand this when it's too late, and they have already committed the grave sin of abortion. As a result, every year thousands of Americans die before they're even born. Let's protect our young people from making ruinous mistakes. Introduce mandatory annual lectures on the evils of abortion for all women under 30. That could actually be popular. Not here in Canada, but in the US maybe. Bill Bonnier, White House social media director. Mr. President, Chick-Shock has been dubbed a social network for children and idiots, but nobody is acknowledging its real potential. I don't agree with the skepticism of my colleagues about a White House profile on Chick-Shock looking inappropriate. What do you think? Should we set up a page on Chick-Shock and post videos of life in the White House with background music and special effects? No. Hey bud, Owen Swarovski, your spiritual advisor, was killed in a car accident. I really hope the good mood of our candidate for vice president has nothing to do with that. Anyway, the thing is, we need to appoint a new advisor. And since we're knocking ratings, I've had an idea. How about before we leave, we get the believers all pissed? Every single one of them. Let's appoint an atheist. Great idea, isn't it? Okay, we're actually losing now. Let the debate begin. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to welcome you back to the debate stage. Tonight will be the only debate of the political season between the two leading candidates for president of the United States. Given how our audience appreciated the debate format of the presidential debate, we have decided to continue with the same format for the presidential candidates as well. I will try to stay out of the conversation and allow the candidates to moderate themselves. Let them prove in a free and open discussion who is more qualified to lead our nation into the future. Meet the president and his challenger, Archie Weister. Candidates, are you ready? I don't know about my opponent, but I'm perfectly ready, Paul. Thank you. My fellow Americans, today I will show you how the rights of the most oppressed group in the United States, the bureaucrats, are being violated. The most oppressed group in the United States are presidents. We are a vast minority, and the hair on our heads turns gray faster than anyone else's. What are you talking about, Mr. President? You presidents now have the 28th Amendment, which protects you from prosecution for life. That is, of course, if you manage to serve out the rest of your term. In essence, it will expand Amendment 28 and apply it to all officials, from the staff at City Hall up to the president's office. Shit, all of these answers, we're trying to say stuff that's going to make us less popular. If I can summon the strength, I will extend the amendment to all Americans. No one deserves to be persecuted. That seems like a popular thing to say. You don't have any original ideas to offer, you just steal everything from me. Actually, the president can't change the Constitution, Mr. Weister. Let's go, you just steal all ideas from me. Only a fool wouldn't take advantage of your greatest work, Mr. President. We know that you didn't want the amendment for yourself, but for our country and the presidents of the future. Thus, with a single stroke, we will effectively fight crime and benefit from the legacy of the president, who worked so hard to bring fundamental change to the penal system. Penis what? Americans don't even know that word. The next item on my program is migration. Here we're going to have some truly revolutionary measures. I am going to grant privileges to minorities who come to our country. For example, former officials of the respective countries' governments will be given priority rights to green cards. They will be the driving force behind America's development. I'll support such a measure in every way I can. We need to take a closer look at the flow of migrants into the country. Are foreign spies considered officials? If there are foreign spies among the pool of applicants, we should show them sympathy. After all, government officials are oppressed all over the world. Where else can they find a safe haven? Do you love America as much as I do? I love America, especially the Second Amendment on gun ownership. But something needs to be done about the emphasis. Only police officers and other government officials should have the right to freely bear arms. Others should enjoy the privilege only in moderation. Especially police officers. Day after day, I hear about inadequate use of force. Is that so, Mr. President? Then what prevented you from imposing these laws during your first term? Did Congress stand in the way, or were you too busy with your amendment? Officials have nothing to be ashamed of. They are an oppressed class who have been working for centuries for the good of the country, taking only a modest salary in return. I feel like I'm losing this debate. I can only say one thing, and he's saying like 5 million things. In the sense that he's sounding worse than us. Which brings up another item on my campaign platform. I promise to increase the minimum wage of civil servants many times over. The average bureaucrat brings enough value to society to rival any lawyer, programmer, or banker. I want to look worse than these options. I guess I don't know, man. In addition to staggeringly low salaries, government officials face numerous other humiliations. For example, they are constantly being harassed and insulted. My team has drawn up plans to put an end to such abuse. We will introduce fines for unjustified insults against individual officials and against bureaucrats in general. No longer will they be a ridiculed class in society. And for insulting the president, you either get expelled from the country or put in the electric chair. My, how determined you sound today, Mr. President. What's the matter? Afraid you're not tough enough to beat me? America knows who's really on the official side, so let's move on. Finally, we can't forget the lives of officials are complicated. Today, more and more Americans are being allowed to use light drugs like marijuana. But given the enormous stress that officials are under, we should decriminalize not just marijuana, but also cocaine, heroin, and several other hard drugs, specifically for their use in the workplace. That's the only way these brave government officials can meet the challenge facing the country of today. Don't forget acid and the other synthetics. Imagine what kind of laws we'd have then. Doesn't your administration make frequent use? I've seen the things they put on your desk. There's no way to dream up stuff like that. If you think I'm talking nonsense, ask yourself this. Do we live in an equal opportunity society? One more decisive step must be taken. We must expand the bureaucracy several times over. First, we will make people stop oppressing the bureaucrats. And then we will make all Americans bureaucrats. Then no one will ever be oppressed in America ever again. That's it from me, Mr. President. Since I was the first to speak today, I'll give you the opportunity to address America with a final word. What's the worst thing we could say? My fellow Americans, vote for me in this election. My dear citizens, you'd better not go to the polls. My dear friends, show mercy on Mr. Weister and vote for him. I think saying don't go to the polls. If I remain as president, America is finished. But you don't really care either way, do you? Our time has come to an end. That was quite a lively debate. It only goes to show that America has a tough choice to make come in November. Thank you for tuning in. I don't think I did a very good job. Oh my God, I got a slight bump. The president was the clear winner of the debate. That's not to say that that dramatically changed anyone's view of him, but Archie Weister sank himself. Shot himself in the foot so many times we can't help but wonder. Doesn't Weister really want to get into the White House? Oh, yes! Mr. President, the introduction of annual lectures sparked mass protests. No need to fret. These same young ladies who are so zealously saying, my body, my rights. One day, thank you for giving them the chance to have their children. Okay. What? Yeah, I was concerned this atheist thing might give us. Mr. President, Canadians continue to hold a grudge against Americans. We have some parliamentary elections coming up soon, and I'm bound to be asked what I've done for the country during my term as Prime Minister. Can I say I put my foot down in talks with you and defended the rights of Canadians? Please, I really need this. I can pay you a little extra in exchange. No! Yo, President, I know I'm not in your camp, but I've had it with Weister telling me what to do. I want to demonstrate my independence and write that I have nothing against you personally and that I think you are a cool president. It's a great idea, isn't it? No. Mr. President, several major European publications are getting ready to print articles about corruption in your administration and ties with criminal syndicates for a small sum. I'd be willing to go through my channels to block these articles. No. Oh my God, I'm leading. Okay, I might have a little trick here. If I like go to services, we might be able to see the results of those choices that we made. Oh God. But I also have this minus lose 4.5%. This is it. Oh my God. Sir, articles have been published in French, German, and British publications accusing your administration of corruption. I could have stopped the publication at least until after the elections, but I just didn't receive any incentive from you. It was an uphill battle, but Archie Weister was able to defeat the sitting president in an election marked the lowest voter turnout in modern history. In 3 months, there will be the new president in the White House. On the first day after his defeat, the president will host President-elect Archie Weister at the White House to set in motion the transfer of power. What will these former rivals discuss in their private meetings? Tony. Thank you, America. I came in a solid third place in my first election. Those 1.98% who had the courage to vote for me, the candidate of the people, will never regret it. Nothing can end our fight against the establishment. It's only just beginning. So, are you ready to hear the results of the election? I suggest you sit down. America's never seen such obvious deception. Since we'll never see the real numbers, we'll have to base our bet on the numbers those crooks reported. You remember our bet. You bet that what percent of Americans would vote for Tony Estaba, and whoever guessed closer... I don't care about this. But first I've got to ask, who did you leave the country to? To that crazy villain Weister? The deceiver who made it look like even with the stab as witnesses, I only got 1.3% of the vote? I'll never believe that's the actual result. I have more followers on Twitter than that. It's damn history repeating itself. Fraud in Florida, that's how Weister stole the election victory by getting 271 electoral votes. That's gotta be the fraud. Florida voted for us last time. But the media is hiding the truth. They're calling me a spoiler. Oh yeah, I think probably he's the reason why we lost. They're calling me a spoiler. They say I got most of my votes in Florida. And if the locals there had voted for you instead of me, the whole election would have gone the other way. You would have been beaten Weister and become president again. I'd love to give you my votes, but I tried. The committee already turned me down. You're some piece of work. You just went along with Ellie and spent the whole campaign tearing yourself down. I don't even know what to think. We could have carried on the fight against the establishment together. I'm disappointed in you, buddy. As for our little friendly bet, you lose. My prediction was closer. I'll give it to you, Tony. Goodbye, my old friend. Goodbye, Tony. I don't know what's happening. The game's just frozen.